This incredible woman's name is Jennifer Fisher. She will be 60 years old in a few months, but she looks decades younger. People often try to explain such examples with makeup, good light, or genetics, but here everything works differently. This is not an accident or a lucky coincidence. This is the result of a system that most people remember only when the body is already starting to fail. Jennifer Fisher has built her lifestyle so that health has become not an idea or a project, but a daily practice. And it is this sequence, rather than external factors, that shapes her condition and the very effect of a young body. Watch this video to the end, and we will reveal the main secrets of her youth and athletic figure. So, let's get started. The first is regular functional training. She does not train formally and does not focus on isolated muscle training for the sake of external effect. Her approach is based on natural movements that restore basic strength to the body. Squats, deadlifts, body stabilization exercises, and body weight control. This type of exercise directly affects how the body ages. Muscles are not only a form, but also an active metabolic organ. The more developed and active they are, the more stable the metabolism, hormonal levels, and insulin sensitivity, which means a higher overall energy level and body stability. Functional training has another important effect. It preserves the young mechanics of the body. Joints continue to move fully, ligaments remain elastic, and coordination does not degrade with age. As a result, the difference becomes noticeable. A person either simply ages and loses mobility or retains an active, controlled body capable of exertion and movement without restrictions. The second element of her system is cardio activity, but not in the format of grueling marathons, but as a regular, built-in workload. Walking, moderate running, active movements during the day. Cardio is not a punishment for her, but a way to keep her cardiovascular system in a state of high adaptability. And here it is important to understand the key thing. The heart ages not from age, but from immobility. When blood circulation is regularly accelerated, blood vessels retain elasticity and tissues receive nutrition faster. This directly affects the appearance. The skin looks more alive, recovery is accelerated, the face does not look tired of time. But training by itself does not solve anything if there is no third element, discipline. And at Jennifer Fisher, discipline is not about being tough or putting pressure on yourself. It's more like a lack of negotiation with laziness. She doesn't discuss with herself whether she wants to or not. It operates on the principle that if it is part of the health system, it is done. This approach is critically important because the body does not respond to intentions. It reacts to repeated actions. Discipline here works as a stabilizer of biological age. When training, nutrition, and activity are repeated for years without chaos, the body stops living in stress mode from unpredictability. Namely, chronic lifestyle instability often accelerates aging more than the bad habits themselves. The fourth pillar is nutrition, and there are no fashionable extremes or complex dietary systems. She cooks by herself and focuses on simple but nutritionally dense foods. The main principle is a sufficient amount of protein. Protein in her diet is not a sports drink or a temporary measure. This is the foundation of tissue repair. After 40 to 50 years of age, the body naturally loses muscle mass, and if you do not compensate for this with nutrition, the body begins to gradually shrink. The tone decreases, the metabolism slows down, and the form deteriorates. Regular protein intake supports not only muscles, but also skin, hair, and hormonal processes. In fact, it is the building material that determines how assembled the body looks. It is also important how she relates to cooking. Cooking is about quality and composition control. This eliminates hidden sugars, excess processed fats, and a chaotic diet. Such control directly affects inflammatory processes in the body, namely chronic inflammation is considered one of the key mechanisms of aging. And finally, the fifth, often underestimated element, her attitude to life. Positivity here is not about always smiling, but about the lack of internal resistance to life. Chronic stress and constant stress accelerate biological aging through hormonal mechanisms. Elevated cortisol affects sleep, recovery, skin, and energy levels. Her condition is noticeably different. She does not live in a constant mode of internal struggle. This is reflected in the little things, in how she reacts to stress, how she treats training, how she perceives age. She doesn't have a "am I old or not" dialogue. She's having a dialogue about how I function today. And it is this change of focus that is one of the most powerful things in the whole system. If you put everything together, it becomes clear. Youth is not one habitual factor, but the coordinated work of different body systems. The body does not age piecemeal. It either receives comprehensive support or gradually loses function in several directions at once. Functional training develops strength, coordination, and the musculoskeletal system. Cardio supports endurance and vascular health by influencing the supply of oxygen to tissues. Nutrition provides the material for recovery. Without it, workouts lose their effect. Discipline keeps the system stable, preventing it from collapsing due to chaotic periods. The mental state is also critical. Chronic stress accelerates the wear and tear of the body no less than the lack of movement. The main thing is that all this works only as a way of life and not as a temporary measure for a couple of months. Consistency is the key here. Over time, the perception of age also changes. It ceases to be the limit of possibilities. A person does not preserve youth, but maintains the quality of body functioning. It looks natural, without the feeling of fighting against time. The conclusion is simple. Youth is a process, not a state. Daily activities and movement, nutrition, recovery, and mental stability determine how long the body remains functional and stable. Friends, what do you think of this woman? Write your opinion in the comments. If this video was useful to you, then please like it and share the link with those who might find it particularly useful. We also recommend watching this video, which has now appeared on your screen.